And I also knew him as Anthony Zabrowski.
So you knew him. Why did he say he had two names then?
Well, he used Zabrowski for his Friends of Pets United, his GoFundMe, and he would say, "Oh well, you know, the Jews will give more if you're a Jew," and so that's the name he used for his GoFundMes.
And what was he having GoFundMes for back then?
He had a pet charity, Friends of Pets United. It was supposedly to help out with, sick animals and things like that. There's actually just an article released from one of my reporters who's been interviewing me a lot, Jacqueline Sweet, about how he conned a homeless military vet out of $3,000 for his service dog.
Richard Osthoff was a disabled veteran, as you see a picture here, that had his pit mix, I believe, that was given to him. Let's go to details of what it is that Santos DeVolder did with this. In May of 16, George Osthoff was living in a tent in an abandoned chicken coop on the side of Route 9 in Howell, New Jersey. First of all, good job, America. This is a veteran. With his beloved service dog, Sapphire, a veteran's charity gave the pit mix to Osthoff, a disabled veteran who was honorably discharged from the US Navy in 2002. When Sapphire developed a life-threatening stomach tumor, Osthoff, who is now 47 years old, learned the surgery would cost $3,000. A veterinary technician took Osthoff aside and told him, "I know a guy who runs a pet charity who can help you. I wonder if this tech was in on it." His name is Anthony DeVolder. That name sounds familiar. And his pet charity is called Friends of Pets United, is what that tech told him. Well, now we know that DeVolder, of course, is that one of those, I guess, fake name. It's part of his name, so I guess he can claim that it's really his name. It's just he used it in different ways to get different things, like here. Because according to Osthoff, that veteran, Santos closed the GoFundMe after it raised the $3,000 needed for the surgery for Sapphire, then stopped replying to his texts and calls. This is what Osthoff posted back in 16. And you point out, Adrian, you wish more people had talked about this. He did, but nobody's listening. He said, "To everyone who helped me and Sapphire raise the money for her surgery, I'm sorry to say that we were scammed by Anthony DeVolder and Friends of Pets United through a series of bad veterinary contacts and subterfuge regarding payment. Sapphire has not received veterinary care, and her growth is 3 to 4 times bigger than it was when the campaign was fulfilled. She's facing euthanasia within months." Well, those months went by, and as those text messages between DeVolder and Osthoff here, as he showed, were really weird. I'm not sure who was typing this. It seems like one of those broken English things. Let's look at this really fast. Here's the back and forth that he also posted. He pointed out, at least from Anthony's side, if she's a candidate for the surgery, keep in mind FOPU is a reputable organization. We care for many animals and have the most respect for what is he talking about? Either way it goes, back and forth. The veteran then asked him, "My dog's gonna die, you know it. The fatty deposit's getting worse. I don't have the money, it's getting larger. I'm gonna have to put her down." It eventually did happen that way. And this is what he then told Patch publication about this. He told him that he was crying his eyes out, remembering Sapphire's last day. Here's his quote: "Little girl never left my side in 10 years. I went through 2 bouts of seriously considering suicide, but thinking about leaving her without me saved my life. I loved that dog so much, I inhaled her last breaths when I had her euthanized." We talk about people who abuse dogs or I guess abandon even, we talked about a couple weeks ago, things like that. And the outrage is intense for good reason. How about when you scam someone and there's 2 victims now? The dog and also its owner, who tells that story of being saved from suicide by this same animal for $3,000. Self-made George Santos.
It's so sickening that this is who this person is. And just think of all of the vulnerable people that he has defrauded over the course of his lifetime to get to where he is now. It really speaks to the depravity of some members of society, and seeing him be elevated to a position in Congress where McCarthy now needs him. And thus it's very unlikely that they're gonna be willing to impeach him and remove him at the end of the day. it really just shows you that we don't have enough checks and balances in our system to ensure that the right people are in leadership positions. And I forgot to note it before, just with the situation with the dog. But the fact that also he was using Anthony Zambrovsky because he was trying to weaponize the Jewish culture in some way, it goes in line with him saying, I never said I was a Jew, I said I was Jewish. Like, this person has no low, there is no shame, there is no bottom. There are probably so many skeletons in the closet that are of this type of just heinous nature. We do not know what he is going to do. And so Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans really just need to take this as an L that will be a W once he's out. Because you cannot deal with this person in the long run.
I've always said things like that. Yeah, this might help you out to do the right thing. This isn't about losing to someone that's brought up all these issues. And by the way, say these things were brought up before he was elected, because he also lost in 20 and then re-upped again. Say it was brought up during the campaign. They'd be like, look at the timing of you bringing up horrible things about someone who's trying to represent tons of people. Seems like the best time to bring up things about people who are looking to represent tons of folks. Which, speaking of representation, one of the folks who's been backing him for getting that position, that committee position, said, Santos actually represents 1 million people. Does he? Do those 1 million people believe in the things he believes in? I don't think he represents them at all.